Absolutely. Yep, yep. Do you think NASA should be in the launch business? Ooh. Uller, I'm going to switch us back over to Kerbal, and we will talk more about that in a second. Let me just change the directory up. We have to finish our Saturn 1B rocket that we're working on. Or at least something akin to it here. So I'm going to switch us back over to Kerbal. If you guys want to come join me, we'll be building a Saturn rocket here for the new weekly challenge. Your boy failed the Minmus challenge. I couldn't do it. I didn't get it done in time, which sucks. And now I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen with this challenge. So we're starting early today. They released a new weekly challenge here. And the new weekly challenge is... That shot is awesome. Is over here. This weekly challenge is Apollo. Apollo is the name of the game. The primary weekly challenge goal is to recreate the Apollo 7 mission. And then the stretch goal is to recreate Apollo 8. Do a circumlunar trajectory free return like this. And then Jeb level is do an Apollo 11 mission with a lander, right? And then Val level is create your favorite rocket, either planned or fictional, and land a crew on Duna and return them to Kerbin. I hope that failure doesn't affect my funding, Hooch. No. Failures get me more viewers if you really want to know. So do launch scrubs. But I don't like seeing the launch scrub despite that, you know. That weekly challenge was for a week. Anyway. So, Uller, do I think NASA should be in the launch business? Yes, absolutely. If you want keep in mind, guys, this is my personal point of view. There is a multitude of people out there that disagree with me on this, and that's totally fine. There's a multitude of people that disagree with me on this that are way more qualified to talk about this. This is just what I think, okay? No, it's not, Hellfish. So, do I think NASA should be in the launch business? Yes, absolutely. I personally think that NASA should have redundant capability to everything that SpaceX does, i.e. if SpaceX can put a person on the moon, NASA should damn sure be able to put a person on the moon as well, with their own in-house architecture. Redundant dissimilar architecture across public-private partnerships is the way I think is the most sustainable way forward. Yeah. I disagree, but only so I can disagree. Yeah, welcome to the internet. I disagree with you just to disagree with you. No, you should be disagreeing with the guy that just disagreed with me a second ago. Therefore, we can all disagree to agree on to disagree. Right? Yeah, okay, cool. I have many opinions on this, but they are flawed. I am human. Yeah, we all are. Yes, exactly. Don't agree to that. Wait, what? So, I think that NASA should, for instance, like the goal is the moon right now, and SpaceX obviously has the lander. I think NASA should be able to put somebody on the surface of the moon without SpaceX's help. Simultaneously, I think SpaceX should be able to put somebody on the moon without NASA's help. Redundant dissimilar capability across public-private partnerships is the most sustainable way forward, by far, by a long shot. It is, I will say, and this is why people disagree with me, it is not the most cost-effective way forward, but it's the most sustainable. Yeah, that is the big reason why I am a fanboy for both SLS and Starship. I want both of those to fly, and I want them to fly for a very long time. Preferably higher frequency on both of them. Because, Uller, think about it, dude. Think about it like this. You know, we were just talking about commercial webcasts and how commercial webcasts for rockets, you know, with the exception of SpaceX, it's not like NASA, is it? NASA's casts are in a league of their own, right? Do you really want a commercial company? So do you really want a corporation being the only people that can get access to the surface of the moon? I don't want that. Do you want that? I don't think that's a good idea. Simultaneously, we saw what happened last time the government was the only people that had access to the surface of the moon. They realized that nobody else could do it and said, I'm gonna go spend money on something else. Ooh, guns! You know, like, see what I'm saying? Either one of those ways will lead to stagnation in my mind. One, we've already seen the evidence of. Well, the second one leads to Blade Runner. You don't want, or Total Recall, or The Expanse. Take your pick. That other way definitely won't work. And the other way of just governments being able to get to the moon definitely didn't work historically. So, both of them is the solution. That it's not the most expensive. It's not the least expensive way to do it. It's probably the most expensive way to do it. But also, it's pretty much shows that if anybody gets a monopoly on any particular thing in space, the industry stagnates like crazy. Which is why I don't want that either. Go figure. Wei and Yutani, exactly. You get alien. That's right. That's right. Well, I agree with that, but I want efficiency. Sure. I agree with that, but you want efficiency. Well, I mean, there's always a trade-off in engineering, my man. Always a trade-off. Always. And once again, people are going to disagree with me on that. People are going to disagree to agree to disagree to agree to disagree with me on that. That's fine. I don't care. And before people say, well, EJ, I don't think that's right. Well, there's a reason why SLS and Starship both exist in the same universe and are working together, because there are definitely people at NASA that absolutely, and there are definitely people in the government that think exactly what I'm thinking. Go figure. That's right, Aqualix. Yep, yep. That's right, a large cookie. I don't want the government being the only way to being the only access to the surface of the moon, because once that industry stagnates, the politicians will pull the plug on it and spend money on something else that's probably not as beneficial, like war. Just speaking from history, that's all, dude. History's a great teacher about this stuff, and I base my opinions very much off of that stuff, you know? But anyway, this conversation is getting a little too real. Let's get you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Hey, 11. Yeah, Bing Bong, I always thought it'd be better, like, I'm not against, like, the military-industrial complex being part of the space program. Then it's working for you. At least we get some cool science out of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at it, you know? It's a good way to kind of curtail that. But, frick me, dude, I'm just a Twitch streamer. What do I know? I'm sure people didn't come here to hear me spout off about that stuff. So here, let me bring you up to speed with what we just did. Before the SpaceX cast, we were engineering a new capsule to complete that Kerbal challenge. And we just completed our launch escape system in-flight abort test. Let me show you. So I have my service module and my capsule with its launch escape system here. And then we have a little bit of kick underneath. A little spicy meatball underneath there. Is this a little Joe? What do you think? Alright, get the maximum dynamic pressure indicator up. When we get to max Q, that's when I'll trigger the abort. There's max Q. Whitney! What happened to Marvin? Marvin will go with us on operational missions, but I put his brother in there, Devin. Tower jettison. Whitney, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the raid. I'm working on my launch escape systems for my capsule for the new weekly challenge because I failed miserably at the Minmus challenge. 2 good drogues. Yeah, that's his cousin, Devin, or something. Oh, that almost sucked. Anyway, you guys know Whitney. If you guys don't know Space Explorer W, Whitney's basically my French counterpart for doing STEM education and playing Kerbal on Twitch. Very, very good STEM educator if you speak French. Me, no parle-vous français. Sorry. But yeah. Go give Whitney a follow if you feel them. She's a great Twitch streamer, a good Kerbal player, and a good educator, most importantly. Pull the mains. Of course. I told you I got your back. It's all good. Omelette du fromage. Oui. If you get a third 3D printer, what would what one would be in your considerations? Ender 3S1, you can't go wrong. Anyway, Whitney, thank you for the raid. It's actually late over there. Were you you trying to do the new challenge? And did what I say help? Second of all, did that help? An Ender 3 S1 is what I have. That's my newer one. That's a good printer. Whitney probably already left. All good. I'm still attempting to get to the moon using GPT-4. I saw that, Bradley, but I had to get to work, so I couldn't comment, dude, but I did see it. Boop. All right, our launch escape system works very well, actually. The drogues, the final position on the drogues really helped stabilize the chute. And yep, Devin and all the batteries and everything are completely intact. We are good. All right, so now that we know that the launch escape system works, what we have to do is build a launch vehicle for this, right? What I want to do for this weekly challenge, considering we're remaking Apollo 7, Apollo 8, and Apollo 11, right? And then trying to land on the surface of Duna and come back, what I want to do is build out an Apollo-style architecture and then use the Apollo-style architecture to get to Duna. So that starts with building a Saturn 1B. We got to build that sucker, because this is the Apollo 7 stack at Complex 34 right there. We got to do that, so we're going to roll with it. So what I'm going to do is we'll save the in-flight abort file, right? And then we will separate that. And then I updated the capsule here, so we'll go Kestrel 2, Block 1, save that, overwrite, that's good. Yeah, that Marvin is the first test flight. That's Devin over there. We'll put Marvin in the seat when we go to fly, don't worry. I don't know. I can't speak to that one, Aqualex. It's good to know, though. So now, with our capsule's good, service module's good, and everything is working correctly. Now, what we'll do is we will develop Jebstone 1B or something. Save. Alright, so we're gonna need a vehicle stage adapter here. Hey, Powerhouse. How you doing? No, Firework. There's no backwards compatibility in Kerbal, unfortunately. Okay, so we need to design an S4B 200, and then, yeah, I need to make like a Kerbal-alike version. So I'm going to use Jebstone 3, my Jebstone 3 design from back in the day, which should be, let me think about how I put that together.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I have the, Firework, I have the design up here. Don't worry about that. We got the design up here. It's all good. You can be a jerk, but thank you for tolerating you. Uller, if you think you're being a jerk in my chat right now, I assure you you're not. I get viewers that are way worse. Way worse. You asked me a question, and when I gave you a response, you're like, meh. And then apologized for going, meh. Don't worry about it, man. It's not a big deal. If that's what tipped me, dude, I wouldn't be in this business. Trust me, we're good. Like me, for instance. Yes, like Jackal, for instance, who makes things a lot more difficult than they need to be. Thanks, buddy. Also, yeah, if you're being a jerk, I would just ban you from chat because I don't have time for people that are going to waste mine. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is let's take the fairing length here on that shroud, and I want floating node, but I don't want the fairing to be enabled. We're going to need a large fairing here. That's what I want. And now what we're going to need is the top of an S4B. An S4B is Saturn V's second stage. I don't want a large Farva. I want a damn liter of cola. Now, how are we going to do this? We definitely need a decoupling mechanism here, right? So let's put a small decoupler here first, okay? And then, yeah, that's what we want. Okay, so does that look like spit to you? Yeah. Ah, screw it. Dang it, you burger punk! And you're banned from Dempusburger. Damn it. Sorry. Okay, so this right here, this decoupler is going to serve to separate the capsule from the upper stage. But I also want a payload bay here for a lander, so we need to move that down a little ways. Let's move that down there like that. Now, let me think about this. How are we going to make this work? Alright, so what I'm going to do for just reference here is I want a 2.5 meter fairing. We'll use that scallop there as that. And then I'm going to move this down off the decoupler a little bit. The reason why is because I want to make a better staging adapter here. Now, on Saturn, right, on the Saturn V rocket and the Saturn 1B, well, there's a piece right here, a vehicle staging adapter. This vehicle staging adapter is basically an empty volume on a Saturn 1B. There's nothing in there. There could be, if Saturn 1B wanted to send a capsule and a payload, an unpressurized payload up into space, you could put something in there, like the Apollo-Soyuz test project adapter, for instance, right? But for the most part, it's empty. Now, if you're looking at a Saturn 1B and then you look at a Saturn V, for instance, right? This is actually a great picture. You look at a Saturn V, for instance, right here. The Saturn V and the Saturn 1B from here up and from there up are the same. They use the same umbilicals. Now, don't get me wrong, that Saturn V, that's Skylab up there. So that's not exactly the same. But a Saturn V that would be going to the moon would have an S4B upper stage on top of it. That staging adapter, right, the big staging adapter, which is also kind of a payload bay, that's where the lunar lander would be. And then the capsule on top. Same thing, right? So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to design a universal upper stage for my Saturn V and my Saturn 1B, just like the Apollo program. That made it so the Saturn 1B and the Saturn V could basically launch off of the same exact pad with the same exact umbilicals. If you look, that umbilical and that one, and then, well, the crew access tower is retracted here in this design, but it's the same umbilicals for the second stage and for the payload from 1B to Saturn V. Now, keep in mind, this one has different umbilicals because that's Skylab, not Saturn V with the service module and a lander, but let's roll with it. The Saturn 1B just needed a stool to sit on, and that's why the slang term for that extender right there is called the milk stool. Because it looks like, well, they're not going to call it the bar stool. It's the 60s, and that wouldn't be inappropriate. We're not contributing to people's bad habits. Right? Jared, 13-month resub. So, they put this thing on a stool to make sure that the umbilicals actually lined up, which is actually a really smart idea. That makes it so this can be configurable. The entirety of Complex 39 can be configurable for a Saturn V, Saturn 1B, on the same pad. No problem. You could launch cargo Saturn Vs, crew Saturn 1B, cargo Saturn 1B, or crewed Saturn V's, whatever. It doesn't matter. Fun fact: you see that fairing on top of Saturn V in the unmanned version? That fairing is a Saturn 1B's fairing. Interesting, right? Because they both share the same upper stage. Why not use the same fairing? It shows the integrated systems architecture from the Apollo program and how good it actually was. It's really good. It's very scalable. You can do a bunch of different things with the same stuff. So this upper stage that we're going to put here on our Saturn 1B style rocket is going to need to have an open area for a payload bay. And later we have to make sure that payload bay has enough to put a lunar lander in. So we got to make it a pretty big distance here. So what I'm going to do is we'll do the payload fairing part of this. Payload fairing part is doing this. So let's go to the top orthographic view here. And let's make this payload fairing 375 diameter. And then what we're going to do is plus this in, and we're going to do something like this. We're going to attach that fairing to the bottom here of the service module. And that will give us our payload bay. But our payload bay is also a fairing here. Right? Our payload bay is also a fairing. So check that off. And now we have something very similar to the Apollo program. What we got to do is put some structure in there to make this thing stronger. But the reason why I made it at the bottom, at the base of the thing, why I made it 375 is because this is where the top of our upper stage is going to be. Once again, Kerbal orthographic view is doing work. So let's take this and we'll make this fairing a 4X fairing because that's what it was on the real one. And we'll go from there. How's it going? Just got done taking engagement pictures. Hey, congratulations. There we go. Very nice. So there we go. Now we got something going here. This is pretty neat. So I was using that decoupler as a template. The reason why is now what we're going to do is give me... Ooh, wait a minute. That's a 5 meter fairing, not 375, right? Well, I did that wrong, so dump that. We need to use a fairing for it instead, and then make sure that that shroud is not there. That's good. It won't go away. Lovely. Well, that's broken. Nice. All right, cool. Sweet. Well, let's do the same thing with the 375 fairing. I was thinking that, you know, it looks good, but it doesn't look exactly right. So let's build out that fairing, and we'll go to the side view again here, right? And we'll move this out. Get a blueprint view here. We'll basically do the same exact thing that we just did. And we gotta make sure that that's attached right to the bottom of that module right there. Check that. There we go. Yeah, very nice. Alright, so take that and make sure that it's set to clamshell 4X. Perfect. Alright, that's cool. There we go. Now we're talking. That actually might be a little too big. I might actually kind of maybe go down with it a little bit. Something like that, maybe. That's good. I mean, I kind of have to be careful because I don't know exactly what it's going to be, right, until we go and make the thing. Until we go and make the lander. But I think that should be enough for a lander. Like, in terms of height, I'm pretty sure we got plenty of room there. based off of the landers that I made it when Kerbal just first came out. Okay, so now this lower fairing here, what I'm going to do is make an interstage adapter. Or, well, basically it's called a forward skirt. It's a structural piece that kind of holds this whole thing together. There we go. Alright, now why did I do that? Well, because when this thing goes, when the Apollo capsule separates, and say they have to pluck a lander off of the second stage, you need the fairing to open, but you still want the forward skirt there, and you... Basically, it's more like the real one. That's how the real one is set up. The reason is because the lunar excursion module, the LEM, is actually hanging. It's actually hanging inside of the upper stage. Let me show you. So you type S4B into chat, right? Into chat. Nice. Into Google. My brain's getting fried. Check this out. Here's a picture of one over the Cape. That's actually from Apollo 7, if I'm remembering right. You see right there how it's kind of hollow up in there? Damn it. I told you, Jib. I told you not to do that. See how it's hollow? The reason why it's hollow is because the lunar excursion module actually hangs inside. It hangs inside of the stage. Now, there's like a forward skirt up here, right? And the top of the stage is down here somewhere. And then the sides actually kind of just open up. They were hinged like this originally, but they got rid of it. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the attachment points for the LEM. Right, so if we go and type LEM into Google and not chat, not that guy. Screw that guy. I don't know who that is. I'm sure he's very talented. If you go and look at the lunar excursion module here, see the lunar excursion module has these little hooks. I mean, there's a picture of it on the moon, but see the little hook right there? 1. Hey, Ray, thanks for the raid, man. What's going on? 2, 3, and then there's one on the other side. See those hooks right there? It actually hangs inside of the upper stage. And those four points right there, 1, 2, 3, and 4, are the attachment points for the LEM. And the descent module is basically hanging there. Pretty cool, right? Anyway, guys, if you guys like scam baiting, so like scammers catching streamers catching scammers, that's what Paul Scambaits does. Dude, I appreciate the raid. How many did you get today? What is that white plate? Targeting. It's a targeting reticle, Nagwal. But you can see the LEM. You can see the 4 spots where the LEM is supposed to go. I need to build something, or I want to build something like that. So actually, what I have here isn't exactly right, is it? So basically, a LEM simulator. Well, yeah, basically something like that. Today it was a 300K scam. 7 money mules reported. Good for you, dude. You're doing God's work, sir. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult to get right, huh? Alright, how are we going to go about doing this? Because I want to make the fairing that has the pedals that open up, right? I mean, the solution would be to make the whole thing out of the fairing. But then again, once the fairing deploys, I don't want this bottom ring to deploy right here. Huh. Congratulations, man. Well, that's good. All right, get rid of that for a moment. Is that a Supra? Is this KSP? No, not KSP, Spudnik. It's KSP2. Okay. See what I did there? Alright, so how are we going to do this? How am I going to do this? I got to think about how we're going to do this right. Ah, yes. Alright, so we can get rid of that fairing for a second. And excuse that shroud piece being put in there, fellas.
Discovery,
Not
go and throttle up.
Not much I can do about it. It won't go away. That's a glitch that happened when they patched the game. I don't remember that one happening before, but all right. So we need to build. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Let's try the tubes. Tube. How much better is this game than KSP? KSP is more complete. KSP 2 is still in early access. So you can't do everything in KSP 2 that you can do in KSP, but KSP 2 has a much much more potential. So like KSP 2 will have multiplayer in it, base building on other planets, interstellar travel. Like, yeah, it's gonna be. There's a lot more potential here with taking like a Kerbal style game to the next level here. So KSP 1 right now is a more completed game, but KSP 2 has much more potential to be crazy, like a lot more fun. Huh. You guys see that? That's something you don't see every day. Chloe, I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm gonna say it once. You didn't break any rules with what you said, but don't spam in my chat, please. Please don't do that. I'm only gonna say it once, okay? I mean, I'm not entirely sure what you're on about there, but I'm just playing a video game here, okay? Let's leave it at that, shall we? Pretty sure it's a bot? Yeah, maybe so, Mike. My bad. That's all good. It's all good. All good. All right, let me get back to playing my video game here. I think we might have to use the tube. Let's do that. Can we get a tube that way? Okay. It's a bot, all right? I don't think Chloe's a bot. I don't think so. I think Chloe's copy pasting, but I don't think a bot. No. Chloe, what's the date? What's today's date? Help me out. What's today's date? We'll see, Mike. We'll see. Let's do some Turing test stuff. March 18th. Chloe, you see a turtle. You're walking through the desert. You see a turtle on its back. What do you do? This is important. Leave it there. Flip it. Oh. Okay, well, at least we know Chloe's not a replicant.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Hey, it sounds good to me. We gotta get Decker up in here. All right. Hey, Mayan, 54 months. Thanks, dude. Is EJ a bot? No. Why would I be a bot? Oh, yeah, Marie, there you go. When I lived in Arizona, you weren't allowed to touch a desert tortoise. Had to call local wildlife. Yeah, they're endangered out there for sure. Absolutely. That's what a bot would say? Yeah, but if I said I am a bot, you guys would be like, yeah, well, see, you are. Like, it's a lose-lose. Synth. Yeah, get it right. Bot. Did you hear about ChatGPT creating KSP missions? Yeah, public. The guy that did that is here watching the stream right now. Just saying. Yeah, Lex, that stuff doesn't bother me. You know, Oculus, here's the thing, dude. That stuff doesn't bother me because, look, I don't force people to think the way I do. I teach people to think, you know. That's the thing about rocket science. You got to turn the gears up here, dude. And you're not gonna, I don't force people to think the same way that I do. You can think whatever you want to believe, dude. It doesn't really bother me. Because the way I see it, dude, if I was like, no, that's wrong, you're an idiot, right? No, that's wrong, you're an idiot. Dude, I have no way to, like, I mean, we could use science, right? But I could sit here, I could tell the numbers about how gravity works, and we could get into a huge argument about faith versus science, and that's not fun. That doesn't get us anywhere, right? That doesn't get you anywhere. Where does that get you? It gets you a bunch of bickering on the internet. Oh, great. That never happens, right? I try not to do that here, so that's why it doesn't bother me. Go figure. Like tears in the rain. Yep. Why is it even worth it? Like, you know, the only rule that Chloe broke was spamming. Don't spam in my chat, please. Please, 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 please don't do that. I make it a thing to read. I make it a thing to read everything, and I'm getting pretty good at speed reading, but there's still a lot of you here, right? Don't spam in my chat. It makes it really hard to read. I need to go to the Derek Zoolander for school for kids who can't read good. Bradley is doing the chat GPT thing, if I remember right. Like, that's who you were talking about, Public, right? Oh. Oh, no, but that's just not right. How the kid's gonna learn to read if they can't even fit inside of the building? It has to be at least 3 times as big! I have a vision! I've seen too much of your science has no proof. I have all my proof in this religious book. Yeah. Maybe the first mistake that we're conflating is religion and science. I understand what you're getting at, dude, but you can't force people how to think. I don't even try to do that. No. Dude, there are people that don't think we went to the moon that, like, watch this stream on the regular. I'm not 100% sure why, but they're absolute, dude. You know what, man? If you're getting entertainment out of it, I don't care. Like, I don't know. Like, you all those Twitch streamers, you pick this stream. They're like, yeah, you chill. I'm like, what? All right, okay, cool, sweet. Like, sure, man. Like, all right. I mean, should I be upset about that? Whatever. Other people don't believe in what you're saying. So, like, 98% of people that start arguments on the internet, man. Well, you got to remember, some people just want to argue. Some people are just contrarian in nature. Takes one to know one. You know what I'm saying? That's why I make sure to not do that here. You know? I make sure to not do that here. But, yeah, I got you, man. I got you. I know where you're coming from, man. But, yeah, I got a decade of patience under my belt, homie. So, yeah, it's all good. No, we don't. Yes, you do. Wait. Yeah, homing, that's the reason why I decided to remake my rockets right now, dude. Yeah, I decided to remake them because something with wings and something with old crash files with struts and wings is no good. We tried to launch the Minmus stuff yesterday when the patch came out. It broke immediately. 37 months, son, you're telling me you believe in the moon? It's made out of cheese. They're lying to you. Yes, they're clearly paying Twitch streamers to continue moon landing fiction. Yeah, man, that being a STEM educator on the internet, that's a really big rule. You don't say stuff like, this is the right way and you're wrong. Don't do that. Just explain stuff. The second you do that is the second your chat turns into a cesspool, and it'll stress you the frick out, and you will get really pissed off, and you'll shut the stream off and go hit a punching bag for the next 20 minutes. Speaking from experience again here, don't... Yeah, it's not worth it to let it... Don't try to be like, this is the way, we went to the moon, it's indisputable, frick you. No, just explain how we went to the moon. If people have a problem with that, well, whatever. It's your stream, you can say whatever you want. I don't bother trying to be a dick about it. If you want to believe that, okay, that's fine. What I'm trying to tell you is that I've been from one side of this internet to the other. I've seen a lot of strange things, you know, all-powerful force and whatnot, yeah, you know. That man over there is playing Galaga. You thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. Yeah, that's why I don't stream. You gotta have nerves of steel to do this, man. Nerves of steel. It gets hot. It gets hectic with 1,000 people in here, man. It gets pretty hectic, dude. Even when people aren't giving you crap, but yeah, you have much more patience for this. Yeah, Sam, that's always my go-to, dude. My go-to when it comes to like whether we went to the moon or not. The Soviet Union confirmed that we did. They confirmed it. They confirmed it. Why would they do that? The US and the Soviet Union were not friends in the late 1960s. Why would they ever admit that? If there was any inkling at all that we didn't go, why would they do that? And now, the arguments that I get for that are like, well, we could have fooled them too. We could have fooled the Soviet Union about flying something into space. The people that launched the first artificial satellite and the first person into space and did the first EVA. Them. You're telling me we could fool them how to fly in space? I don't think, yeah, no, nope. That's not how that works at all. Right? That's the biggest one, dude. How else could you dispute that? Why would the Soviet Union admit that? Why would they admit that, you know, they beat us to the moon? Why would you admit that? During the Cold War, when influence matters that much, you wouldn't admit that unless it absolutely happened, right? Right? Just saying. They were paid to lie. Yeah, okay. They were obviously working together for just this one thing. Yeah, see how ridiculous that sounds, username? Like, see how crazy that, like, I always tell that to people. Like, if I get, you know, if I get a skeptic in here, I always ask them that. Like, why would they say that? And they're like, either they're like, oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, you know what? That's a really good point. Or they go, no, they were working together. It's a conspiracy. In which case I'm like, okay, you could just keep thinking that. That's fine. Is Kerbal flat? No, we launched the Minmus the other day, Clang. You were here. You saw Kerbal was round. What's wrong with you? How dare you? No, Homing Pigeon, we were talking about it, dude. You were just talking about it. We were talking about hecklers in chat, dude. I let hecklers talk, dude. I don't care. Like, I let them talk. You know, you can't let that stuff bother you, man. Exactly, Kraken. Yeah, you get them to go down the making up conspiracy theories rabbit hole, and then they end up sounding ridiculous. Usually they come to their senses after that. They're like, okay, all right, maybe, you know. But you know what, dude? I'll take maybe from a skeptic. I'll take maybe. Sure, that's better than no, right? That's fine. That's fine. Like, if people come out of that conversation that were skeptic at first, and they're like, oh, okay, that's good. That's good. That's a good thing. That's what I want. You know, like, I'll take it. I'll take it. That's fine with me. But I don't ever try to argue directly with people like that. Nah, it's a waste of time, dude. Because 90% of the time you're just arguing with a troll. Why would you bother? Kerbals are murlocs. Also, what's the current rocket design? I'm working on building out the Saturn 1B here, but what I'm trying to do is tube. Oh, wait. What? Hello? Hello? Yes, this is Dog. I don't know to tell you. tube. Give me a second. Okay. What do you think causes people to be like that? Like, I just can't understand it. People are contrarian in nature. Mind drive. Hey, Milo. People are contrarian in nature, dude. It's part of being human. Dude, okay. That's part of being human. Like, to think about it like this, dude. We evolved over, what, 2 billion years? Billion years of evolution, right? We evolved over all this time. And we evolved to be the apex predator on this planet. We figured out ways to beat lions and elephants and tiger cats and woolly mammoths and all this other crazy stuff, right? Now, because we evolved in the harsh conditions, I would say, of Earth, they're not really harsh nowadays, right? Like, you can tame anything on this planet, right? Except dinosaurs. But they don't exist. Maybe there's an island off the coast of Costa Rica where they do, but who knows? Anyway, I digress. Jurassic Park references. So, we evolved over millions of years, right? Billions and billions of years, right? And we fought to be the apex predator on this planet. We fought to survive. It's kind of ingrained into us. It's hard-coded into us. So humans have some hard coding going on here. You know, parts of your brain are hard coded for like motor functions and stuff, right? And that's what Neuralink's trying to figure out. But our brain has like the stem, right? That's back here. You have the stem, and then on top of that, there's the limbic part of your brain. The limbic part of your brain is there for controlling emotions and stuff. The medulla oblongata is where anger, jealousy, and aggression come from. No. If I'm remembering right, the medulla oblongata is part of that. But the limbic function is like that's the hard-coded stuff. That's like hard-coded onto our motherboard, so to speak. And then the cortex is on top of that. That's the human part. That's the part that makes us us. There's a lot of mammals out there that have a limbic brain, like a dog. Dog has a brain. The dog can experience emotions, sadness, happiness, etc., but the dog can't do calculus. You know what I mean? That's what this part of the brain is for. This part up here, that's the important part, right? But mama said, yo, mama said, wow. So, Mind Drive, why do I think people are like that? I think people are like that because we're hard-coded to be skeptical of things because of us being inherently paranoid because we fought to be the apex predator of this planet and we evolved during those conditions. We were forged in the crucible of Earth. Earth is not a safe place to be. I mean, we made it safe. We tamed it. That's how I'd like to think about it, but it's not a safe place to be. How many of us here, if we got stranded out in the desert, would know what to do? We'd pick our cell phone out and call somebody. But I'm talking about no cell phone in the middle of the desert. You're kind of screwed, right? It's easy to my summer car yourself, right? Like, that happens. But I think people are inherently paranoid. That's just how we are. That's human. That's being human, dude. You know, you ever walk into a place and you're like, I don't get a good vibe from this place. That's your limbic function saying something is wrong. Run. You know? Like, that's the limbic part of your brain. That we're hard-coded for that. So that's why I think people see such an abstract concept like going to the moon. And they say, nah, there's no way they did that. Like, I can see that. That's definitely, I could definitely see that, dude. You know? Because nobody in here can tell me there's not something that exists in real life, right? And you're not like, nah, I don't believe that. That's really weird. Right? Everyone has something like that, dude. I heard you yell medulla oblongata from the other wood and couldn't tell where it was coming from because your wife is watching The Waterboy. Yes. Winning! I understand. Thanks, EG. Yeah, mind drive. Yeah, I mean, that's just a little bit of human psychology. And that right there, the inherent skepticism, right, is why I don't bother to try and change people's minds. I just say what happened. I just say how the rocket works. And I use very simple ways to explain how the rocket works. And that's it. I never try to debate whether we did or didn't go. I just tell you, 3-stage rocket, lander, CSM. CSM has this amount of delta V. Lander has this amount of delta V. Circularize in low lunar orbit. Go down to the surface. Land. Plant a flag. Take a picture. Come back up with the ascent stage. Back to Earth. Right? Like that's what I just explain how the missions work. Because trying to do that is trying to fight against just how humans are made. That's like saying I don't want my computer to have a motherboard. No, computer doesn't need a motherboard. That's bad. We don't want that. What? You're fighting an uphill battle, a big uphill battle, and in my mind, that's going against 2 billion years of evolution, right? Like that is a battle I am not going to win, because human sociology do be like that. I'm not gonna win that fight, no way. So why even try? That's why I don't bother. The rocket knows where it is because it knows where it isn't. It's teeny tiny people in the computer. It's not a motherboard. Well, Sputnik, you calling it a motherboard kind of, what is the fatherboard at? Come on, man. No, I'm just kidding. Now I'm being a jerk. Sorry. But, yeah, don't even bother, dude. Like, why? It's not worth my time. Anyway. So a solution could be using Neuralink to remove thoughts of idiotic conspiracies from that part of the brain of those people. Kappa. It's not even funny as a joke, dude. Not even funny as a joke, man. Yeah, I don't know, dude. This is why you failed the other weekly challenge. What are you using for a surface propulsion system? It's a Terrier engine with compartmentalized fuel tanks, dude. Anyway. Oh, boy. We're at that part of the night. Oh, look, squirrel. That's how, when we get to this part of the night, Busted, that's how I know I'm starting to get tired. So, I think we'll pack it in for now. We'll finish our Saturn 1B tomorrow. I'll crank that thing out. But yeah, that's how I'm starting to get tired. You can tell I'm starting to get tired, or I am tired if movie quotes start coming at you hot and heavy. And we definitely there was a bunch of them in that analogy. So, I think we'll call it here. And, yeah, let's see who we can raid, dudes. Thank you very much for watching. We had 2 rocket launches today. That was sweet. It's so true. When the movie quotes come out, that's when you know I'm either really awake, just had my coffee, or I'm really tired. And I don't know what the correlation is there, and I don't want to know. Let's see who we can raid, guys. Anyway, Ray, thanks for the raid. Whitney, thank you for the raid. I do appreciate it. Guys, thank everybody that bit tips and subbed today. This continued support through KSP is very cool. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Let's see who's out and about. Let's see. Today's stream was a blast. I'm glad you had fun, dude. I'm glad you had fun. Really enjoyed today's show. Yeah, it was good. Are you on Saturdays? No. Wait, is it Friday? It's Friday. Holy crap, how did this week went by real fast. Wow. Okay. Should I curse whoever's next to find water? Yes. Yes, you should. Guys, I'll throw the raid over to Middle Ditch again. He's been on the RP grind, and he's really good at it. I really enjoy watching him. So let's go see what Middle Ditch is up to. I lost track of this week, too. I think it's because we were looking forward to the patch so much. But anyway, guys, I usually take the weekends off. There's no rocket launch stuff happening over the weekend. So I'm going to see you guys on Monday. We'll continue this weekly challenge next week, and we will get it all done. You have my word. The only reason why I'm stalling in Kerbal right now is because I'm tired. So if I'm tired, that's it. Just going through 2 launches today and switching back and forth, switching gears between Kerbal rockets and Kerbal rockets, like... That takes a lot out of you. So, GTA racing tomorrow. Yep, that's right. I do a Saturday get-together on Saturday nights for GTA racing. We just go and play GTA online and have a good time. Everybody's welcome to join if you want to. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11. 11 for the GTA racing stream. And then the next Kerbal stream will be on Monday at 12. And we'll go from there. Rocket launches for next week. We got Electron, another Electron launch, and Terran 1, that 3D printed rocket. We'll see if they actually get it to go. Yeah, my weekend streams get a little bit feisty. They're not as family friendly as my streams during the week, so just be forewarned there. So once again, fellas, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And let's go see what Middleditch is up to. I'll see you guys all tomorrow night for GTA and then on Monday for Kerbal. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. And if I don't see you on Saturday, have a good weekend. See you guys. Thank you.